Fala aí você que tá ligado de volta no Wizard Games, seja bem-vindo a mais um vídeo. Aqui quem fala é a Teacher Jéssica e no vídeo de hoje a gente vai falar de 5 coisas que todo gamer já ouviu. O vídeo vai ser todinho em inglês para aqueles que ainda não fizeram a homework já deixarem o ouvido afiadinho pro listening. Porque eu sei que vocês vão correndo fazer a homework logo em seguida, certo? Mas antes da gente começar, aquele recadinho de sempre para os Wizzies mais esquecidos. Não esqueçam de enviar suas jogadas pra gente, porque vocês jogam. A gente sabe que vocês jogam. E jogando bem ou mal, nós queremos vocês aparecendo por aqui. O link pro formulário de envio tá aí embaixo na descrição. Enviar um vídeo é mais fácil que andar pra frente. E um último recado, caso vocês tenham assistido o último videozinho aqui no canal, vocês devem lembrar que a gente anunciou que em breve teríamos uma live de Fortnite. Sim, Fortnite. Amado por uns e odiado por outros. E o em breve finalmente chegou. Anotem aí que este sábado, dia 27 de julho de 2019, no período da tarde, teremos nossa primeira live de Fortnite, onde o desafio pra vocês é jogar e se comunicar apenas em inglês, fechou? Mas teacher, eu recém comecei meu curso e eu não conheço todos os tempos verbais ainda. Sem problema algum, meu camarada, a ideia é pôr o inglês de vocês pra trabalhar independente do livro em que vocês estejam, e justamente pra gente aprender mais frases enquanto jogamos. Então fiquem à vontade pra participar, vocês vão poder jogar de casa, é só deixar os nicks de vocês na Epic aí nos comentários que a gente vai adicionar vocês, beleza? Recados dados, então sem mais delongas, simbora pro vídeo. If you've been a gamer for even only a week, you have probably heard some very negative things from other people who are not so open to video games. Maybe a family member, a teacher at school, and you know what? It's actually fine. There's not really a reason to get upset about it, because if we look close enough, there's a lot of controversy regarding video games, especially when other means of communication do nothing but spread bad rumors about them. Let us not get angry about it and instead think on the bright side and gather some cool stories and information to present to these people should the occasion arise, shall we? Today then, we are here to talk about 5 things every gamer has already heard and how to reply to these unfair, outdated stereotypes. Number 1. Video games are for kids. Although kids are, indeed, the gamers with most free time on their hands and therefore the ones parents and adults in general see playing video games more often, that doesn't mean that they are the only ones. On the contrary, of course, there's a big share of the video game industry that's focused mostly on developing more light-hearted and family-friendly games with simple gameplay mechanics and less complex storylines and nearly no violence at all, but that's just one section of the video game industry. There are games that are made for all kinds of public and there are games which are meant for a more mature audience. And that's why games come with an ESRB label on them that tells you what public the game is most suitable for. So, if video games are not meant only for kids, what's the average age of a gamer in Brazil? The answer, my friends, is 25. Actually, according to researchers, nearly 35% of gamers are aged from 25 to 34 years old in Brazil, followed by gamers whose age goes from 35 to 54 years old. In conclusion, almost 68% of the gamers in Brazil are adults. So, if you are no longer in your childhood or teenage years and you still love playing games, and there are people who try to make you feel bad about it, my tip to you is don't. Just don't. Don't feel bad for having a different hobby than people around you and being passionate about something they don't care about. People have different interests sometimes and that's okay. And if someone ever tells you that games are for kids, don't stress. There are several games out there that prove that video games come in many shapes. Actually not, since they're usually a disc or, you know what, never mind. There are way too many games that were developed for people your age, so don't waste your time trying to fight negativity. Use that time to level up at your favorite game, and GG's. Number 2. Video games will not pay your bills. Now we get into a more delicate topic. The reason this sentence became a thing, in my humble opinion, is probably not so unjustified, since a small share of gamers, not all of us, but some of us, tend to sometimes neglect their responsibilities to go play video games. And of course, video games are not to blame for that, but there must be a balance. And if a person who happens to be a gamer is not much of a balanced person and forgets about their homework, is always late for work, does not dedicate not even a tiny bit to their studies or professional life, people around this person will obviously blame video games. Just like they would blame TV shows and movies if that person always chose watching TV over studying or working. My tip to you, if you hear that from your parents very often, is stop and reflect a little bit. Are you maybe not prioritizing things you should be prioritizing to instead indulge yourself with hours and hours of gaming? If the answer is yes, try to think about it. Your parents are probably not trying to humiliate you for playing video games. They're just concerned that you are falling behind on things that will be extremely important to your future self. And if the answer is nope, if you know you have discipline fitting gaming into your schedule, and yet people you live with are always mad that you play video games, don't stress. Don't argue about it. Because honestly, when people start a conversation raising their voices to the point where they're actually yelling at each other, they're no longer trying to solve the problem. They're just letting steam out. So make room for a more peaceful conversation where you will be able to introduce them to people who have actually gotten pretty dang successful playing video games. Live streaming nowadays is extremely accessible and esports are gradually becoming more respected. And maybe if you are a decent player or just a very entertaining person, who knows? Perhaps with the right public, with the right equipment and a little bit of sagacity, yes, you can start making a little money. Yes, there's a huge amount of people out there who struggle to make a living out of live streaming, and that's the reason why you must never forget about school and work, the reason why they should always be your main quest and not a plan B. However, if your friends are always saying that you are a beast at a certain game, a really good player, and that's where English comes kicking doors open, if you don't stop practicing your English and you find yourself a loyal audience, and if you expand that audience, making English your first language in your streams, who knows, maybe someday you may have 1 or 2 or 3 people from other countries watching your streams and supporting you. That's probably how these guys started. Therefore, of course, it doesn't happen to every single gamer out there, but still, there are gamers who pay their bills by playing video games. Tfue and Ninja, for instance, 2 of the most popular pro Fortnite players, have an estimated net worth of $10 million each, and they are just 2 examples of successful streamers who make a living out of playing video games. Let us know in the comment section who your favorite foreign streamers are, if you have any. Mine are Nikki30, Sancho West, and One Shot Girl. Go watch them, please and thank you. Just kidding. Or maybe not, if you want to watch, just go watch them, they're really cool. And for how long you have been watching them. Number 3. You are watching someone play your favorite game? Why don't you go play it instead? For the same reason families get together on Sundays and have barbecues to watch Corinthians or whatever soccer team they cheer for play, to have fun and maybe even learn a little, because we enjoy being part of several communities and nearly all of us have a favorite streamer and our professional esports player that we like and support. Come on, it's not so hard to understand. That's it. There is not much to say. Sometimes we just want to have a break from our gaming routine and watch someone else play, or we want to see how other people react to games we have already played that got us very emotional. Sometimes we just want to watch videos to learn new techniques, and sometimes we are just huge fans of certain streamers and we've become friends with people in their chat. And the list goes on and on. Every gamer has a different reason for watching the streamers they watch, but in the end, what unites us all is that we all love anything about video games. Number 4. Video games make people violent. Yeah, as if people had only been peaceful and loving creatures before video games were created. And just so we don't sound too emotional here defending our gaming life, there are several studies that show that video games are not actually linked to violence or increasingly aggressive behavior. Of course, we do get a bit angry when we fail a mission that we tried to complete for hours, or when we do our best in a competitive match and yet the victory doesn't come. That's why we have expressions such as rage quit in gaming. But defeats and failure are a natural part of gaming, just like they are a natural part of our daily lives. Perhaps if we teach and raise people from cradle to be more sympathetic and tolerant to failure, instead of turning them into unstable citizens who won't take no for an answer and who will snap at the slightest sign of frustration, not even the most gruesome of video games or TV shows or even movies will be able to swerve them from the path that they have learned to follow. Speaking of TV shows and movies, they have been on the road for much longer than video games have, and many of them have no problem portraying violence. Many forms of media and artistic productions have profited from that, and yet, people only seem to remember video games when finding a scapegoat for all the terrible things that human beings do. Of course, there have been people responsible for heinous crimes who claim to be inspired by video games, but there have also been people who committed atrocious felonies and who were not inspired by anything at all, simply out of cruelness and evilness of their heart, that is, if they have any. There have been people who claim to be inspired by movies, by books. In the end, these people are just trying to find something or someone else to take responsibility for their actions and the choices they made. That's why blaming video games or any kind of media will never end violence. Video games teach a lot of positive things and make room for a lot of positive experiences. They even help shy people make friends. And if we teach our kids valuable lessons about friendship, love, and fellowship, the kids who wind up being gamers as adults will never let themselves be manipulated towards hurting other people. Number 5. Video games won't teach you anything. Boy, oh boy, if I had $1 for every time I heard that one, I would be hearing that in Paris. Again, for sure, there are games which have no intention at all of teaching. There are plenty of games that aim solely to provide gamers with a place to have fun, but there are many other games with a massive focus on storyline and which are set in realistic historical moments. And when I say many, I mean it. The Assassin's Creed franchise, for example, is so historically accurate that all the targets players must execute throughout the games actually represent real historical people, and the dates of their deaths in real life are the same dates used in the games. God of War, for instance, which features not so realistic creatures and a seemingly immortal protagonist, is so true to the Greek mythology and now also Northern mythology that you can literally ask any God of War fan the name of all Greek gods and goddesses and they will tell you. And like we said a million times already, video games are a great way to practice your English. Your reading skill will naturally become much better if you switch your game settings so the text is entirely in English. Your listening will improve a lot if you challenge yourself to change the language of the dialogues and subtitles to English, or better yet, if you use no subtitles at all. And playing on servers from different continents is an excellent way to find players who speak English natively. Because unless you have a foreigner living in your house, or unless you work in a place that requires that you speak English on a daily basis, you are most likely to only find foreigners on the internet. So why not practice your English while having fun playing video games? We must keep in mind though that maybe not everybody we play with will be in their best mood. Some people may not be as patient as we would like them to be. Some may get annoyed if you hesitate too much because you are afraid to say something wrong, or you are not entirely sure about how to say something you only know how to say in Portuguese. And that's why studying hard outside of school and preparing yourself in advance before communicating with native English speakers are guaranteed to give you a head start. Watch native streamers play first, take note of the expressions they use, and don't be afraid to repeat words you are not comfortable with until you are. One thing is for sure, you won't improve your English speaking only Portuguese. So put your nose on your wizard books, make the most of your classes at school, speak as much as you can, and don't be afraid to make mistakes as long as you are willing to learn from them. And that was it. If there's anything else you always hear for being a gamer, something we did not mention on this video, tell us down in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to hear from you guys. If you liked this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you very much for watching. See you all in the next one.